Hey guys, I know I usually start off with a theme song. We'll get into the theme song in a minute. I just wanted to start the podcast off by talking about the allegations against Vince McMahon. This will be the only time I'm mentioning them, as I do not want to gratify or give any more airtime to what has been said during the lawsuit against Vince McMahon and the allegations that have come out. I have read the text. They're, let's just say, very graphic and horrific. If this is truly what is going on, I hope he is brought to justice. If not, then I hope the truth does come out. But for right now, this will be all I'm going to say about it. I don't want to mention it at all. I don't want to bring the podcast down because the podcast is usually a very high, happy agenda. So this will be the only time I mention it. And now, with that said, let's get into the theme song and let's get into this episode of Wrestling Made Simple. How's it going, everybody? I'm the best news, the best always, the best ever will be. There will be none before me, there'll be none after me. Therefore, I am the one and only Jake Kobe, and welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. We got an action-packed week this week with your news of the week, followed by a SmackDown and Royal Rumble, then Raw review. We then have your drink of the week, followed by your Battle Droid of the week. Next week, we will go into the Elimination Chamber season, my favorite pay per view of the year. I know a lot of people will say it's Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, but I love Elimination Chamber, man. Let's hit the news of this week as Elio Carrion introduced Randy Orton to kick off SmackDown. Orton expressed his gratitude for being featured in Carrion's music video. Orton then declared his intention to deliver an RKO and become a 15-time world champion tomorrow night at the Royal Rumble. AJ Styles interjected, reminding Orton not to overlook him. Styles said he mentioned going to Nick Aldis and requesting a match with Solo Sikoa, but Aldis instead granted it to L.A. Knight. Yeah, speaking of the man, L.A. Knight then came out and expressed his reluctance to face Solo. You know, I just realized we never even went into the news. Let's go to the news real quick. We will get back to that in a second. So what's going on right now is we have AEW superstars going to WWE. Apparently, as AEW's Malachi Black and Buddy Murphy are apparently going to leave AEW and go into WWE. Their contracts are apparently coming up very shortly. I don't know how I feel about this because I feel like there'll just be more guys on the roster. I feel like WWE's roster is becoming really, really, really loaded again, which makes it hard for more people to stand out. I think if they want to do this, they really need to separate the roster and do different type of do a complete brand split and do single branded pay-per-views again. Now on to the next story of Rhea Ripley's Elimination Chamber opponent leaked. Apparently, as PW Insider and everyone else is reporting that it will be Nia Jax to face Rhea Ripley in her home country of Australia. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not a big Nia Jax fan, as I have been very adamant about. But who knows? You know, I'll talk about this more in my Royal Rumble review. And finally, SmackDown's new commentary team has been revealed by WWE. It will be Wade Barrett doing color commentary and Corey Graves doing play-by-play. Don't know how I feel about this. Corey Graves' character is definitely more of a play-by-play character. Heel announcers are way better as color commentators, in my opinion. We saw with Jerry King Lawler. We've seen it. We see it with Corey Graves. We see it with JBL. But these aren't guys that you really want calling the full show. You want people like JR, in undecisive Michael Cole. People like that. Just, I really feel like this could be a mistake to put Corey Graves on the play-by-play, but who knows? Maybe they'll make him just a true, just regular guy, and have Wade Barrett be the heel announcer. And finally, your final story of this week. Oh no, we're good. Never mind. So let's get back to SmackDown. As LA Knight came out and said he did not want to face Solo Sikoa and suspected of Heyman trying to soften him up for tomorrow, Styles concluded this segment with a Pele kick to Orton. We then get Santos Escobar versus Carlito in a nice little match. Santos Escobar would pick up the win after Elektra Lopez would make her SmackDown debut and would attack Zelina, rejoining the Legado de Fantasma faction. Because of this, Carlito was rolled up by Santos Escobar, and Santos Escobar picked up the win. We then get the Kabuki Warriors versus Katana Chance and Kaden Carter for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Nice little match. I wish they gave this more time. The Kabuki Warriors would pick up the win and would become your new Women's Tag Team Champions. We then get Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits calling out the Final Testament, which led to a brawl, which ended with Karrion Kross and the Authors of Pain standing tall. I still don't know how I feel about Karrion Kross's new finish. I feel like I'm in the very, very, very small minority of people not knowing what to think, because it's either you love it or you hate it, apparently, is what's going on Twitter. So I truly feel like there's a lot of setup to it, but damn, does it look devastating once it's delivered. We then get Austin Theory versus Carmelo Hayes. Austin Theory would pick up the win. After the match, Theory and Waller would attack Carmelo Hayes, which led to Trick Williams coming in to make the save. Thought that was very fun. We then get your main event of LA Knight versus, LA Knight. Yeah! Making this going against Solo Sikoa. It would lead to DQ after AJ Styles would interfere. After the match, AJ, LA, Solo, Jimmy, and Randy Orton would all get into a brawl, which ended with LA Knight standing tall. Yeah. I thought it was a very fun show. I thought it was a great go-home show for the Royal Rumble. I really did enjoy this SmackDown. I really enjoyed all the shows this weekend. So you know what? It was a great, great weekend for me. Let's move on to Royal Rumble. Saturday was a fun time. I actually had a couple of friends over, and we made barbecue, and we just watched the Royal Rumble. That was a fun, fun time. And I actually had a buddy over who really knows his wrestling. He really was able to. We were able to talk about it and go into, okay, this is what I think about this. This is how I think about this. It was very smart. This would actually be the first show WWE has done at Tropicana since COVID. They actually ran the Thunderdome out of there, so I thought this was a very cool little throwback to it. The show kicked off. It was a 4-match show. It kicked off with the Women's Royal Rumble, and damn, was it fun. It kicked off with Natalya and a returning Naomi. This is when my buddy came in and went, "What the fuck? Naomi's back!" He goes, "Did I miss any surprises?" And I just pointed to the screen, and he lost his mind. We then get Jordynne Grace showing up. We got some great surprises in this. You would have people like Ivy Now, Katana Chance. The surprises were a little less than what should have been, At 28, Jake Cargill would come in, which was awesome. Nia Jax would actually really wreck house, and my buddy actually pointed out, like, hey, she does look like she's worked on it, and she's truly showing that she can go in the ring again. Jake Cargill would eliminate Nia Jax to show how she can use her power and truly stand with any woman in that ring. I just imagine people are back there going, Bianca Belair versus Jake Cargill. Right into Triple H's ear, and Triple H is like, that is a WrestleMania match, isn't it? It would then end up with Liv Morgan coming out at number 30. After this, there would be a whole lot of eliminations. It would end with Liv Morgan versus Bayley on the apron. I want to say this. I truly hate how it always ends for Liv Morgan on the apron. I thought that was so bad, man. Bayley would finally pick up the win, though, and is going to have her title match at WrestleMania, which, if it's just her versus Io Sky, would be the first singles match Bayley has ever had at WrestleMania. She's never had a singles match. How funny is that? We then get a fatal four-way for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, or as they're calling it on Raw, the WWE Championship. I don't know what to believe. I think it is going to be called the WWE Championship going on from here, but that's just my thoughts. It would be a hard-fought 19-minute match. The one thing about these 4 matches being on the card was they really let matches have their time. I truly thought that Randy Orton was picking up the win. I thought that it was going to be Randy Orton truly hitting an RKO and going on to feud with Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Now, with that being said, I think the plans were changed, and I'll go into that later. Roman Reigns would pick up the win with a spear, and Roman Reigns would retain his title. So it looks like Roman Reigns is going into WrestleMania as your WWE champion. We then get Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens in a singles match for the United States Championship. This would be actually, I call this, and if I ever get them on the podcast, my buddy, I looked at him and I said, I get the feeling this match is going to end by DQ, and Kevin Owens is going to get disqualified somehow. And I was just like, yeah, no, I should have said, a minute in my head, I'm like, I should have said Logan Paul by DQ. What the hell am I thinking? But sure enough, Logan Paul gets slid the brass knuckles. Kevin Owens intercepts him, uses them, goes for the pin, but doesn't throw him away. The referee sees him, and 1, 2, referee disqualifies Kevin Owens. I didn't see that one coming by a country mile at the time, but looking back at it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's actually a pretty obvious finish. I know people are saying like Kevin Owens looks like an idiot here, but what the hell is wrong with giving the heel and the face a little bit of role reversal? Just in my opinion. It was a 14-minute match. I actually enjoyed it. Let's go to your main event, the Men's Royal Rumble. As it kicked off with the Usos going at it, you would then have Grayson Waller, and then a returning Andrade. Andrade would make his return to WWE. People said there were no surprises. Screw you, Andrade returned. I didn't see that one coming. You would get people like Karrion Kross, and this is where my buddy pointed out. He said that finisher may take a long time to set up, but damn, does it look devastating. You would have Dirty Dominic Mysterio eliminate a lot of people, including Braun Breaker, who is apparently making his main roster. He's now officially a main roster guy. and then Cody Rhodes would come in and just wreck shop. It would come down to him versus CM Punk, and CM Punk would actually say that I'm not losing to Dusty's kid, and then get eliminated. Cody Rhodes would win and would basically point to Roman Reigns and say, I want you. I want the rematch at WrestleMania. So for 2 years in a row, the first time since the 90s, someone has won back-to-back Royal Rumbles. It was a fun show. If I had to grade it A+, I thought this was great. I thought it was fun, and I really enjoyed this show. Now, I talk about plans being changed. Here's why I truly believe it. Oh, and by the way, I also forgot to say Pat McAfee would return and would join the commentary desk. He would actually show up and try to get in the Rumble. It would be like Omos and Bronson Reed both looking at him, and he would just say, "Yeah, no, I'm getting out of here." And Corey Graves and Michael Cole would go both looking at him, and just go, "Smart, very smart there." So your new commentary team for Raw: Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. CM Punk would then come out and said he has right arm in a sling. Apparently, he has torn his tricep. So I imagine that happened a little bit before the show. You would see CM Punk walking around, kind of holding his arm a little bit. What I imagine happened was Punk tore his arm, maybe working out or something. I don't know. And he told him when he got to the building, and they said, "Can you still wrestle at night?" And he said, "Yeah, I can still wrestle. I can still want to go to WrestleMania." Unfortunately, that isn't going to happen. But he decided to wrestle, and they changed the ending of Randy Orton winning so Roman Reigns could go face The Rock, and Randy Orton would then lose because him versus Cody, in my opinion, would be a way better story. But because Randy Orton versus Cody would be a way better story than Roman versus Cody again. So that's why I think Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble. I think it was originally supposed to be CM Punk winning to challenge Seth Rollins at WrestleMania at Night One's main event. CM Punk would talk about how he tore it and how he believes he doesn't believe in luck, how he believes he will be back and he will accomplish his dream of main eventing WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre then came out and said he dreamt of this moment and prayed for this moment. And unfortunately, it didn't happen. And it happened, and he is so happy. He then claymored CM Punk, which led to Sami Zayn coming in to make the save. I was very happy to see Sami Zayn back. People were pissed he got the number 30 entry in the Royal Rumble. Does anyone remember that this time last year, he was the hottest thing, not just in WWE, in professional wrestling? Am I the only one who remembers that? That's bullshit. That people were saying that he is not deserving of the 30 spot. We then get your tag team match as it was Judgment Day defending their titles against DIY. I thought it was an okay match. Didn't think it was great. Judgment Day would pick up the win. They would call out R-Truth. And then Judgment Day would attack R-Truth. JD would beat the shit out of R-Truth. The Miz would come out to make the save, but they took him out as well. So the question is, who could stop the Judgment Day and take their titles? Guess we'll have to wait till WrestleMania. We think it's Zoe Starks and Shayna Baszler versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Nice, quick little match. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks will easily pick up the win. You would then get your segment of the night, a great promo between Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. Seth had the best line of the night, maybe of the month, when he said, "Do you want to go for the Hollywood Hogan title and Roman Reigns WWE title, or do you want to go off with the Dusty Rhodes Workhorse title, the World Heavyweight title?" Cody said he has an insane amount of respect for Seth Rollins, and he never thought they'd be talking about this. Cody then said he'd think about it. We then get Jey Uso picking up a surprise win against Big Bronson Reed. Nice match, really enjoyed it, thought it was fun. Jey Uso would pick up the win after a nice splash. Really cool, good win for Jey Uso. We then get announced that Andrade is signed with Raw, and apparently they're teasing Braun Breaker's assigned to SmackDown. We then get Gunther versus Kofi Kingston for the IC title. Nice little match. Gunther would retain. After the match, Imperium would attack the New Day. That was a good match. I enjoyed it. We then get the women's tag team champions, the Kabuki Warriors, versus Natalya and Tegan Nox. This would end with a basically kind of a miss tag. I'm trying to think of the right words here. Misstep just doesn't work. Anyway, so Natalya would go for a tag. Tegan Nox would kind of see it, but would instead go to attack Kairi Sane, who would move out of the way, and Tegan Nox would get the shit beat out of her by Kairi Sane. Natalya would be pissed and be like, "What the heck?" And then would get the shit beat out of her by Asuka. 1, 2, 3. The Kabuki Warriors pick up the win. We then get your main event of Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. Awesome match. Really enjoyed this. It would end as Drew McIntyre would go for a kick out and accidentally hit a low blow on Sami Zayn. You would then have the ref trying to see if Zayn's okay. Drew McIntyre basically tell the ref, "Get the hell out of the way." 1, 2, 3. Hits the Claymore, picks up the win. Drew then looks at the ref and says, "Raise my arm." I thought this was awesome. I thought this is a great heel McIntyre. And I truly do believe that Drew McIntyre is going to be the guy who challenged Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Do I believe he's going to win? No, probably not. But do I think it's going to be a good match? Hell yes. Whew. I could use a drink. How about the Hulk Bomb in honor of Hulkamania turning 40 and some nice mixers because we're in the road to Elimination Chamber, so I'm trying to do basically it's going to be a shot month. So here is your drink this week: the Hulk Bomb, 1 ounce Hennessy, 1 ounce Hypnotic, 2 ounces Mountain Dew. You're going to add the Hennessy to a shot glass, set that aside, combine the Hypnotic and the Mountain Dew in a pint glass, drop your shot into the pint glass. Please drink responsibly. Do not drink and drive. Do not drink if you're under 21 in the United States. Do not overconsume on alcohol. Let's go into why I think it's going to be the WrestleMania card right now. I believe it is probably going to be for the IC title, Gunther versus Chad Gable. I truly believe Chad Gable is the one they should have to dethrone Gunther. I think it would be a good call, and I would really actually enjoy that. For the U.S. title, I see Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens. I see that match happening again, and this time Kevin Owens picking up the win to get the United States Championship. For the tag team titles, I see it being a really kind of big match altogether. DIY versus Judgment Day versus Miz and R-Truth, and maybe throw in the New Day as well, and Imperium to make it a 5-way ladder match with Miz and R-Truth picking up the win. I'm going with one of the matches as well, being Jimmy Uso versus Jey Uso, and Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar. I think those will be two great heated matches that they've really been building all year. I see AJ Styles versus LA Knight. Yeah. I imagine they'll find a match for Randy Orton as well. I'm trying to think of who it will be. Oh, and also might want to throw Street Profits and the Authors of Pain into that ladder match as well. But who would be a good match for Randy Orton at WrestleMania? Well, I would love to see it be Kevin Owens. Maybe have him go to Solo Sikoa. Since John Cena may show up at WrestleMania, may not. I believe if John Cena does show up, it'll just be as an appearance, not a match. For your women's matches, I believe it will be Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch, and Rhea Ripley versus, then that will be for the women's world title, and then it will be Bayley versus Io Sky for the women's championship. And finally, in your main events, I see Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, and I see Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Seth Rollins picking up the win, Cody Rhodes picking up the win. That's my WrestleMania card. Let's go into the Battle Droid of the Week. The Battle Droid of the Week is Tegan Nox. Tegan Nox is a special talent, the shiniest wizard. I love it, but there is still so much I want to have done to her character. So I'm going with Tegan Nox as the Battle Droid of the Week. I just feel there's so much more, and they aren't giving her the spot she truly deserves. So Tegan Nox, congratulations. You are the Battle Droid of the Week.
Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. I have been the big guy. This has been Wrestling Made Simple. Hope you have a great week in wrestling. Next week, we move on to the Elimination Chamber, the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania. Have a great day.